I have this recurring nightmare in meetings. Not the one where I show up without pants, but the one where I have just the absolute perfect idea. So I formulate it, I polish the grammar in my head, I wait for a breath in the conversation, and then
And by the time you open your mouth, they've already moved on to agenda item number 4.
exactly. I'm just left sitting there with this brilliant thought dying in my throat.
Yeah, that is painfully relatable. And usually you end up feeling like you didn't contribute anything at all, even though you are mentally working harder than anyone else in the room.
It's exhausting. So today we are tackling that specific paralysis on this deep dive. We've got a stack of research here on how to actually get the words out. And the first thing that jumped out at me is a mindset shift that seems almost, I don't know, too simple. We usually stay quiet because we want to be impressive, right?
Right. We think every comment has to be some sort of grand TED talk, but the material here argues that the goal shouldn't be to impress. It should really just be to contribute.
Which sounds a bit like semantics to me.
It does sound like semantics, but think about the pressure difference there. Impressing puts the spotlight entirely on you. Contributing puts the spotlight on the problem you're solving together.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. But let's get right into the mechanics. Because even if I want to contribute, there's that physical barrier. The air in the room feels thick and interrupting just feels aggressive. How do we break the seal without looking like a jerk?
Well, this is where we get into what I call the battering ram versus the wedge. You don't need to batter down the door with your big idea immediately. You really just need a wedge. The advice here focuses heavily on what they call entry phrases.
Like saying something like, can I add something here? Or I'd like to share a quick thought.
Yes, exactly. But look at the psychology behind it. It's essentially a cognitive hack. If you wait until you have your full argument structured to speak, your brain is doing two really hard things at once.
Social timing and complex language processing.
Right, that is exactly why you freeze.
So the entry phrase is kind of like a preloaded script.
Precisely. Saying, can I jump in here, requires absolutely zero brain power, but it buys you 3 seconds of floor time. You claim the space physically before you even have to deliver intellectually. The room stops, eyes turn to you, and now you kind of just have to speak. You've tricked yourself into participating.
It is terrifying, but also brilliant.
Right.
It stops the overthinking cycle because you've already committed to saying something,